Sir,
So,
it is done. Yeah, you may start.
Oh,
I can
okay.
start now.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, very fine. So good evening, all of you, one and all. Professor Samantha sir is here, so I am wishing especially good evening to you, sir.
Sir,
It's
sorry
very
for the
great.
interruption, sir.
It's
If you
really
can
great
just
opportunity that you people have provided me to speak something on this universal human values. And also I wish and I greet all my students who are here present. So myself, this is Dr. R.K. Dubey, Rakesh Kumar Dhar Dubey. Would be discussing some points of this universal human values. Yeah, so the contours of the discussion today, we would be actually moving ahead with. Some of the points would be done, not I think with the time that we can just see and manage. If it is possible, we can cover up most of the things. But otherwise, it is about the natural acceptance of human values that is to be done. Then definitive of ethical human conduct, basis for humanistic education, humanistic constitution, and humanistic universal order. Then competence in professional ethics, ability to utilize the professional competence for augmenting universal human order, ability to identify the scope and characteristic of people-friendly and eco-friendly production systems, ability to identify and develop, appropriate technologies and management patterns for above production system. So the very first question arises that why we are actually moving ahead with this universal human values, this program, this course. It is very important. So if we can see, just check our country and the history of our country. So we are always being said that we are the Vishwa Gurus. So definitely having a very great, historical heritage and great historical, perception from the entire world that we were actually gurus for the rest part of the world when rest part of the world was not so developed. So we were just like giving all kinds of wisdom to the entire world. So again, why this was possible? Only because the value system, the ethical backgrounds, the morality of the system of our social setup was so high. So again, it is very necessary because it is very important to just estimate, the conditions of the society and to know whether there is any downfall in terms of, ethical or moral or value system, whether it has gone down of the society or it is maintained or there is some work to be done. So if it is assessed that there is some work to be done or just to promote the new generations who is going to become the future, citizens of the nation. So it is very important to imbibe the greatest characters in their personality and part of personality with all greatest behavioral projections for the society and for the world. It is very important to have the lessons of the value systems and the ethics and morality that we are trying to discuss today. So in this sense that you see, the very first point would be like citizens' gross character reflect the nation's character. So it gives a sense what is the gross character means. Gross character means every individual of the society of the nation must be very great with their behavioral projections, with their attitude, positive attitude, with the attitude for helping others, with the attitude which could actually possess all good values for the society, for the self and the society.
Really good, Diota. Wow. Okay.
Somebody is asking something or what? Yeah, is there any question or what?
No, I think she had been muted, I think. Okay, proceed, sir.
Okay, shall I proceed then? Now?
Okay.
Sir, I'm sorry to interrupt. Sir, if you can put your screen on full screen mode So I
Yeah,
think
Full
that,
screen mode. Okay, just
yeah,
a
so
minute.
you can have the option just beside the percentage of the screen given at
Right.
the right hand side, right below side of your screen. The
More.
percentage 69% it is written. The button after that, like
Can you
button,
do
that I cannot do, sir. That you have to do by yourself, actually.
yeah, it is like remote control or apps. More. It will come in more or what?
No. In your screen itself, in your presentation screen, you can see at the right hand side below bottom part, you can see the 69%, 1% has been given. Can you see that in your own screen, sir?
Yeah, the screen is being shared. You can see that screen also.
It is not seen.
Dubey sir,
Yes.
just press F5 in your laptop.
Okay.
F5.
Okay. I'm putting, but it is not responding actually. F5 it is done, but it is not responding. I think
Sir,
let it be
please,
because I should proceed ahead if you say, or
Yes, sir.
F5.
Okay, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay, it is visible.
If remotely you can control, please do help me.
Okay.
Sir, please go ahead, sir.
Go ahead, it is
Okay.
visible.
Okay.
It is visible. You proceed.
Thanks.
No problem.
So this is all very important. The only first point that I have discussed, and this is very important, and all other consecutive points would be very similar to the very first point, that universal human value is very necessary for our lives because we are the citizens. Every student is the future of the nation. That has to be reminded, and that's why the students specifically are given this kind of value added programs, which actually is a kind of experimentation, not only experimentation but an effort to imbibe the greatest value system so that they can construct their personality in such a way that they could be admirable in rest part of the world. Entire world can admire India. So is the background that we can just understand and estimate this. Individual character is generally reflected in one's personality. The second point that I'm reading out for, and we'll explain it also. And this is very connecting with the personality. The third point is projected by individual's behavior and his attitude. And a good attitude and good behavior are shaped up by learning moral and ethical values, which starts from our homes. The very first institution is, of course, our homes. Our parents are generally, we consider them as the first, teachers of our lives. Mother is the very first teacher of our lives. So from there, the value system is getting imbibed. And again, when with the growing child, when he reaches any institution, a school, and then university, everywhere, this system is very important, so important, which actually is made, updated apart from the domain learnings that any student is actually involved in. So lessons of morality, value, ethics, sense of responsibility, accountability, capability of identifying and distinguishing between good or bad for better self and for society, and many other more things which is related with good value system is very important that we can see. In the same context that we can see there, these are three most important words which we understand. Like first is value, which is also understood as mulya. So in Hindi, the terminology for value is mulya. In English, again, the value would be converted like worth. So worthiness. If we just, if you go to any shop and purchase anything, so you would be finding that what is the worth of the product or the investment that you are making against any product. So you would be trying to fetch out the best, value for the money. So that is the worth that you are actually evaluating. But what if we evaluate ourselves, the personality of an individual? Definitely there must be some worth. And always the value is actually adding the worth in any individual, because valueless person can't be worthy. Because if we just compare any unethical, or a person who is not having any weightage of or any respect for his own statements, or if he is not following by the guided rules and regulations and norms which are widely accepted in the entire world. So the person could be counted or could be understood as less valuable or no value. So value is something which actually adds on in the personality, which makes the one person for admiration. Second would be like policy or niti. So niti is something, the natikta, or it could be again very much connected with the ethics that if we speak. Third would be the character or the charitra in Hindi, what we say. So character is again reflected in the behavior, or the very synonymous word that for the character is the behavior. Now, if we speak about value and ethics, so value means worth, as I told. So it could be further segregated like the personal values, the human values, the social values. There may be many other values like the family values. So values could be categorized according to situations and according to the needs and wants, and with all good things that we can actually consider. Here we see like personal values.
There is no visibility. Okay. Your slide is not visible, I think. Whether it is visible to others, I don't know.
No, sir, it is not visible.
What is not visible?
It is not visible.
How to know?
No, sir.
Just,
I think it has been off.
Now
Now
it
visible.
is visible.
now it is visible.
Now visible.
Okay. So F.
Now
No, sir, it is not
disappeared.
actually working. So you shouldn't put you shouldn't click the F5. Just yeah, now it is visible.
It is
Okay.
visible.
No. Now
No,
it has
again it
gone.
went up. So you please press escape, sir. Escape, ESC, escape. Yeah, you keep it in this way, sir. Please do not press F5. This is fine. You go to your specific slide and
Okay.
Oh, this is
Control.
fine.
yes, sir,
Fine,
this is
fine.
fine. Just you go to the specific slide you were discussing, and that would be fine, sir.
Right.
Okay. So
Okay,
that
now-
I
Yes.
started. I just started with this, the contours, and then finally this second slide, that universal value, why it is necessary, that I discussed, and I discussed about all these 3 points: values, and that is mulya, then policy, the niti, and character, the charitra, which is also known as behavior. So now I am to start this slide, the value and ethics. And again, you see value that already I discussed is all about the worth. So worthiness is always with the value that any person possesses. And as we discussed about, like it could be a personal value, the human values, the social value, the family values. There may be varieties of values. So in terms of the very first, the personal values of an individual are developed early in their life, maybe starting from the family, and then with their friends and in the schools and in the environment that they reside. So every time any little nascent boy, very small boy, I mean to say, just after 1 or 2 or 3 years, when he enters into kindergarten, so his process of socialization begins from that very moment, and he interacts and he learns every good value system from teachers and from family members, mothers, and friends and entire society. So this is very important to understand. Secondly, the human values, as soon as person comes with consciousness, because the child and the adult, there would be vast differences where one can put and apply some reasoning, some sense of reasoning about on the belief system, which can be calculated finally to the final values that we can just say, the positions of good things. So human values are those values which help man to live in harmony, number 1 point. And this is very important. The word terminology itself is very important, harmony. So this actually helps one to reside in the society, in the world, everywhere with all harmony. First, the harmony would be for the self, and then the rest part of the world. Again, we will revisit this terminology again. But the another point that we can see is like it is very much intrinsic. If we calculate its worthiness, it is very intrinsic. That is something from within. Because if it is not intrinsic, it would be again of no use. So it is something that we feel from inside. We feel like, for example, if we give respect to somebody, so there is a sense, there is a feeling, there is an emotion, there is a kind of approach that somebody who may be elder to us, or maybe our parents, that we are actually bowing down or touching the feet of mother and parents and father or teachers, or any elder who is deserving a respect, could be respected. So there is an emotion, there is a feeling for the respect, and that comes automatically from inside. So it is always from within, from inside, because this has been imbibed. Because if this system of devising this good values, if it is established, it will remain forever in our lives. So in this terms, we can see that universal human values, if we speak about some examples of this intrinsic values, it would be respect, of course, it would be love, kindness, honesty, peace, justice, affection, empathy, friendship, equality, brotherhood, etc., etc. So there are many. I would just like to quote, some examples also. When it will come, automatically it will come here, or it is one of the points written here. You see, like Mahatma Gandhi or Mother Teresa. There are many others like Raja Ram Mohan Roy. There would be some photographs also in some of the later slides. I hope, if it is, yeah, here we can see there are some, like these are the greatest personalities, like Guru Ravindranath Tagore, and Sir Aurobindo Ghosh, and Deen Dayal Upadhyay, Mahatma Gandhi, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, etc. And there are some another that I have taken from rest part of the world, from West world and all. So these are the greatest people that we can see. Their lives are so simple. They are having a simplistic lives. Okay, but their thought process was so great, and that actually made them great. So one thing very importantly we should understand, that learning our domain language, like here in this slide I have written value versus skills. So this is going to justify the previous point that I am trying to tell, that greatest persons may be sometimes an average people. It is not that all sharp people, all highly intellectual people, all 100, 99%, 99.5% scorer people are only supposed to become, or are having an opportunity to become, the greatest admiration of the society. It is never like that. But it is for sure, I am telling you, that those who are carrying the greatest of these values, and with all simplistic approach and greatest thought process that they possess, there is always a possibility to become the greatest persons in the world. I am telling, not in your society. So just to see the importance of these little words, which really means a lot to just transform the entire personality of any individual in this society. That's why there is an importance of this. So again, even if we say, I have shown some of the pictures of greatest legendary figures. So if we speak about Mahatma Gandhi, you see Mahatma Gandhi was, many of his life part was not that strong, but still he became Mahatma. The terminology Mahatma was given by some of his followers and admirers. So Mohandas was given this terminology Mahatma, which was prefix in the name, which actually means Mahan Atma, that is greatest of the soul. And the greatest of the soul means what? It is actually who can become the greatest soul? The one who is having care for others, who is having empathy for others, who is having, love and kindness for others, who is not very much for himself. So anybody who is not very worried for his self, interest, and is worried for the rest part of the humanity, is always a possibility to become most admirable person in the society. So I remember one of the events of Mahatma Gandhi, when he was basically he used to write, during after return from his education from England. He went England for higher studies for law. So he studied law there over, and he returned Africa, and then after Africa he came back to India, and suddenly he went to Bihar. There is one place, Champaran, and from there he started this movement of the struggle, Indian independence struggle. So when he went there, he found there on the bank of a river there were two ladies, females, and they were just having very less clothes because of the poverty, not having sufficient clothes to just wrap up their entire, the sari was just torn and everything. So he was just moved with, and in a greatest pain that and from then and there he just decided to just leave all his English clothes, burn all the English clothes, and he wrapped one dhoti, and rest part of his life he took an oath to remain in dhoti, and that was the cladding till his death that we can see. So this is how empathetic he was, or how he was moved with the society. So he took the pain of the society, he felt the pain of the society in himself. And all these values, that care for others, care for humanity, is something that is could be taken, considered as a miracle, isn't it? Likewise, one another value that Mahatma Gandhi in his memoir, he used to write in one of the journals which was published in 1925 and all. The name of the journal was Navajagran. So he used to write in that journal about his memoirs, the old memoirs and all, from his childhood till his return from the England. So it was like he has written about one of the events of his childhood, that he took one fountain pen of his father, and that fountain pen, without keeping the knowledge to his father, he just took, and later on he just realized that he did a mistake, because that could be considered in the category of theft, because he did not inform his father. So just he has written that small thing, and he dared to confess his mistake openly in front of the world. And in that journal, where he used to write in installments, weekly basis or monthly basis, and his entire collection, the writings were actually considered as the complete collection, which was published in one of the press in United States of America, in the name My Experiences with Truth. And that was the autobiography, which was the autobiography of Mahatma Gandhi. So it happened like that. So we can see, we can proceed ahead with the other values of our lives, which are very important to know. First is like happiness. So what is happiness? So happiness is all about sukh, that is you are in anand. So and this is very definitiveness if we speak in terms of manifestations. Second very important value is the peace, that is also in Hindi we say Shanti. Shanti is again something, without Shanti in life, nothing is good, because one may become very rich, one may become very affluent, one may become very greatest personalities maybe in the society in terms of his name and fame and everything. But if he is having some or the other part of his life which is not properly settled, and if the person is maybe in any kind of litigation, or a person is maybe not having a proper, connection or harmony with his society, with his friends. No friend is there in his life or her life, or no colleagues in his or her life, no family members who is caring. He is only having richness, he is only having wealth. So that wealth will be of no use. So we, the human beings, are just apart from animals, because we are the higher level in the animal kingdom. We are human beings, and we, the human beings, are basically having the possibilities of thought process. They can make a reasoning on every point, whatever they think or whatever they just analyze about the situation, about the event, or about any article, about any personality. So we, the human beings, are simply different, and we are always looking for the greatest value, that is happiness. And these are other adjoining value system which actually relates to the happiness only. Because peace, if there is a peace in the life, if it is achieved, or if by all means you are finally getting composed with the peace system, definitely you are going to become happy. And happiness is the greatest wealth. I just tell you, it is the greatest wealth in our lives. Another would be the satisfaction, that is santosh. Santosh is again the greatest value that we can just consider, because santosh is something which actually make you again composed with this factor, that you just see the example of Sai Baba. He is the one, and in his feet now so many temples are all around India and globe. And the greatest of entrepreneurs would be going, and without projecting their name, they would be donating hundreds of lakhs of rupees in the donation, in the box. But see the life history of Sai Baba. If we see just an example, so it is what he said and what was the motto of his life. It is like whatever you have, you are having, you should be having a habit of sharing. And sharing would be again giving you a kind of happiness which will create a kind of satisfaction in you. In other sense, it is also very much related and correlated with this fact that whatever you have blessed within your life, the wealth, the happiness, the family, and the friends, and the society. So you should be actually go ahead by understanding this fact that you are having a blessings of God upon you. You are bestowed with all good things possible in your lives, and you should be satisfied in that sense. Otherwise, in general sense, there may be some another reasoning that growth is very much linked with dissatisfaction. You want to grow, so you have to be dissatisfied. But there also ethics comes, which we are going to discuss immediately. Ethics would be a point where, despite being dissatisfied, you require to have an ethical purview. We have to discuss that. But here, if we speak about value system, satisfaction is the ultimate approach which you keep in your life, and you take it as a way of your life. Definitely you are going to be happy once again. And bliss is the ashirwad or the anand. Again, anand in Hindi is another terminology of happiness or sukh. So this is again interchangeable. So this is again going to serve the betterment in your life. You are going to become better human being and better in your life. Now we are coming to ethics. Now what it is. So ethics is all about the moral philosophy, which states about the moral principles that argues what is right and what is wrong in the human conduct. So if what is conduct, so the way you take your life and way you interact with others, so the way you keep the value system, and also estimating this point that what is right and what is wrong. So right and wrong is again there are some universally accepted, which maybe somehow you can see here, maybe having the similar things like value system we studied. So respect is there also in value, here also in ethics. So respect, selflessness is here. Responsibility and sense of, accountability towards your duties is here. Okay, and then attitude should be there towards anything or anyone. Right communication. If we talk in terms of business ethics or commercial ethics, so you have to be very much this factor, know this factor, that what should be the etiquette and manner, the bare minimum etiquette and manner that has to be projected. So for seniors or juniors, how you are going to interact with them, the amount of communication or the message that you are going to propose, or you are going to just transpose from yourself to your higher, somebody who is senior to you, elder to you, maybe your father, maybe your mother, maybe your principal in the college, maybe vice chancellor in the university, maybe any great being in your life, and how you are going to communicate with your subordinates or your younger brothers and sisters who are younger to you. So it is also, it gives a sense that there must be a common, bare minimum, common, accepted way that it should be always taken care of. Like, for example, there should not be in a habit of using slangs, even to your juniors. And that should always be prohibited from your life. You should always be in respectful way when you are talking to your elders. So these are again some bare minimum facts and figures that has to be kept in while you are projecting your behavior. So you should not be dishonest towards your duties and responsibilities. Like for a student, if I say making an assignment is a part of life, because as far as work is study, you are a student. So a student's basic responsibility, basic agenda is to study, to perform good in the examination, to do to fetch secure the best of the marks. So how it can be done? It can't be done.
I think it has been off.
Yes, sir, it is gone. Samantha,
Gone.
sir?
Gone. It is not visible now.
Sorry.
Okay, that's the problem.
So the time is up, or still I can have some?
You can take time. You can continue.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. So the slide is visible, hopefully.
No.
It is coming, sir. It is going to be visible.
Yes.
It is visible, sir.
It is not
Visible, sir.
visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay.
Shakur, please check WhatsApp.
Fine. Sorry?
No, sir, it's okay. Yeah, please proceed.
Okay. So these all are, ethics in terms of these are some common golden rules related, and this is something globally accepted everywhere. If you speak about honesty, if you speak about respect, so if you are there in USA or France or Japan or Australia, Canada or India, or in Kolkata or Bengal or Kolkata, so everywhere you will find this, these are the bare minimum things which are supposed to be maintained everywhere. And every society loves this. Every society is having these values very much. So elements of ethics, if we speak, so there are some, these are the moral philosophies that we see. And one important, if we speak about ethics and values, I'm having some, examples in my mind. Like, you just remember Ashoka the Great. If I say why Ashoka is known as great, so his greatness is only related with the transformation of his heart. Because, Ashoka was extreme cruel prior to the transformation, because when Mauryan dynasty was established by his, grandfather Chandragupta, and it was a great expansion. And when Ashoka came in power, he expanded till southern India. But the only point was there which was missing was Odisha, present Odisha, and Kalinga was there. So Kalinga, the ruler of Kalinga, was never ready to just come under his, so under him. So he finally attacked, and there was 150,000 people in those times. So just imagine, were killed brutally. But that was the point which made a realization that just for the sake of power and acquisition of this is a hell kind of thing which was actually done. And he was completely moved and he transformed greatly in himself. Now in the present world, you see a single such kind of event is a heinous crime and person is going to be hanged. But it was that time he was having a supreme power, as emerged as a supreme power. He can do anything what he wished to, but then he opted for the new way, the new path of his life, and he opted for promoting the new path of life was Buddhism. He just accepted, he did not accept Buddhism personally, but he promoted Buddhism like anything. And he involved his own son and his daughter Mahendra and his daughter Sanghamitra and on the mission to spread this way of life. Now I must tell you, there are 8 paths which are mentioned in the Buddhism propounded by Gautam Buddha. So India is not prominently the Buddhist country, but you just imagine that the good values which was propounded by Gautam Buddha, like being truth, being with the truth, being with taking the middle path, going for non-violence, not to kill anybody. All these are there are completely 8 paths. All are basically related with ethics, ethical views, and ethical philosophies, moral philosophies and ethical philosophies. So he promoted that, and you can see half of the world, like half of Asia until Afghanistan, it was then under the power of Mauryan dynasty, Mauryan Empire rather. So till those provinces, the spread of these ethical values were created, and henceforth we can just imagine, we can just say proudly that the transformation of any personality into good thing is rare, and which we have noticed, our history has had noticed. Now you see, we are actually $3.5 trillion economy today at present, and the currency, every currency is having the national emblem of 4 head is from Ashoka, and the chakra from on the tricolor is from Ashoka, and it is all the rock edicts specifically speaks about wherever you go in the fort or every traces of artifacts and all things. So you'll find Ashoka's great approaches towards humanity that he converted to. So this is how we can see that how it actually gave the new life in the society of India, ancient India. Even if we speak about some examples from medieval period, you see Akbar was also known as one of the finest ruler, because he got an opportunity when he was at the age of 14 years, but he ruled his 80th year. So just he was one of the largest tenured rulers in this India. And he was having some great intellectuals, though he himself was not that very intellectual and literate, but he preferred to keep the highest intellectuals in his court. So there was once kind of detailed discussions that which religion is good, which religion is bad. So Akbar asked all Dharma Gurus to have a conclave, and were almost multiple nights they just sat and they tried to find that which religion is the best religion. So the best religion ended with the point that there are some flaws in each and every religion. None of the religions could be established.
I think sound and vision has been off.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Okay.
So your screen is not visible.
Right.
is it visible, the slide?
No.
Not yet, sir.
What is going on actually? Hello.
Yes, sir. It is not yet visible.
Just a minute. We'll have again. I will have to share it. No?
Yes, sir. You have to share it again.
Okay. Now it is visible.
It is coming, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible.
It is visible. Talking about that, so after what he did, he after discussion and final conclusion that all came. So he told that let there be one new, kind of religion. He started which was named as Deen Ilahi. It was just again, it was basically not a religion. Again, it was just like Gautam Buddha's greatest way of life that was projected in his teachings. Teachings are also understood as a teaching only, not a religion. But somehow, if it is a matter of belief system, if somebody is having a belief that Buddhism is religion, then it is fine. But otherwise, it is again. So here also, Deen Ilahi was asked to everyone to join, but only Birbal was there. He was one of the finest, intellectuals in his court. He joined, none other than him. But the thing is like, it is a matter of ethical promotions, which actually was for betterment of the society. And that's why we can see that despite all, obstructions and obstacles, and he ruled for such a long period because he always had an approach for harmony. Harmony, he made it with multiple societies also, right from Ranas and right from kings of Rajasthan to all. He just made a kind of a harmony which could actually, that was the administrative policy that he adopted, and he could rule over the land very finely. So we can see and understand, despite all your bravery and courage and whatever you are having, that is one part, but good values are very important, which finally that helps you to proceed ahead in better way in your life. Sorry, yeah. So I had discussed all these things. So there is one, ethics is equal to moral plus reasoning. That is very much important that we need to understand. And some definitiveness that already I had discussed, and which is again, if we speak about at the individual dimension, so there is a thought, there is a behavior, there is a work, and there is a realization. So which actually helps in the human aspirations, that what actually people want to delve into. So first we require to understand that what is the interest, what is the felt emotions, what are the approaches for the society and for so in this aspiration we can see it could be at the individual level and society level. So at individual level, if we see, so harmony, happiness is harmony and integration among all these four dimensions mentioned down, that is thought, behavior, work, and realization, is very important. Otherwise, if we speak about at the society level, these harmony is related with the integration with society. So again, it would be with the individual level, who is actually trying to connect with his entire society, Then family level, family is the smallest unit of the society, and that is the part of the society, and how integration is maintained in the with the society. Because if family values are okay, that would be well accepted with the society, and if society value is okay, that would be well accepted everywhere in globe. And there is another nature. Nature is actually speaking about the integration of individual or family or society with overall nature, which speaks about the eco-friendly approach, individuals approach to eco-friendly. And eco-friendly, if we speak, so eco-friendly would be giving some new dimensions and understanding about the ethics and human values. And ethics, of course, basically ethics, like for example, if I say there are so many companies which are involved in production. So producing goods is fine, because the basic religion of any business house is just to earn money, just to maximize the wealth, and they are not very much worried about the social religious fact. The business religion is all about money, earning high money. But there is always a value. The value is ethics. That ethics will always try to grill the business, that whether the business, whether it is in some wrong business, whether it is doing any kind of producing any kind of product which is wrong for the humanity. Say, for example, I am telling, like if any pharmaceutical company is involved in preparing, some cough syrup, that is just in front of our college, there is one wonderful chemical factory, Bengal Chemicals. And I remember in my childhood, I used to have, the cough syrup from Bengal Chemical. It was one of the finest cough syrups, I am telling you. But what if any cough syrup company, any company of pharmaceutical, if it adds, more than the advised alcohol level, so it will be addictive for the patient. And sometimes it happens that some of the companies are involved in this murky, approaches to make the, product addictive by nature. And if it is not has come under the scanner of government, so they would be doing their business well and good, because once any patient is utilizing that, that may be creating a kind of a habit for purchasing again and again. So on the cause of human health, individual, social in society, anybody's health, if it is, so it is very big crime. It is an unethical practice, I mean to say. And any organization, if it is involved in such kind of things, so definitely it is the responsibility of the business leaders or the CEOs of the company or the founder of the companies, which are actually deliberately having an approach to just go with such kind of certain products which is actually not good for the society. Likewise, there may be some other examples, like any company which is involved in a production of any product which is lethal for the social setups, like without any license, if there is any gun factory, or without any permission, prior permission of government, any company started in drugs, and that too drugs with opioid kind of, which is producing a highly addictive product, and they are again involved in the sales without permission. So that is again a heinous kind of crime, which is completely unethical, and that is very unnatural. So this is very important, the ability to estimate and understand about ourselves, number one, and also to understand the society, and if there is any unethical practices which is moving ahead in the society, so it has to be banned at any point of time. There may be some examples of cognitive dissonance also, if I say. The greatest cognitive dissonance that you all know, every world knows this, that government can ban any factory, any company, but there is one, like cigarette manufacturing company. Government has asked the companies, all cigarette manufacturing companies, that you have to give a statutory notice that it causes cancer. And their government also has asked to put a very, bad picture on every cigarette packets with a lung cancer kind of, and also putting still the cigarettes are on the higher sales. So I mean to say the cognitive dissonance not of an individual, because individuals also would be having a cognitive dissonance, those who are purchasing any, cigarette, despite knowing the matter of fact that this is going to destroy their health, and not only their health, any being in the society is not only for the self, is a part of the nation, is an asset for he may be an asset for the nation, and of course not for the nation, of course asset for his family and the society. But destruction of the health of any individual can also not be permitted at any cost. So it is biggest, contradictory event that why not to just ban the cigarette manufacturing companies or alcohol manufacturing companies or any gun manufacturing countries which is illegally involved into, because the cigarette manufacturing companies are with all legal license, because government is actually provided the license, because a huge taxation and revenue generation is coming from these companies. But still government has asked to just put statutory notes, and with these statutory notes they are having their presence in the market. But we need to understand, because there is no social police, there is no social police which is going to catch any adult who is in the habit of smoking. The only value system of ours that is going to prohibit us, because it may be at times any young guy who is just getting apart from their family for higher education or to some different cities and all. So the possibilities may be that because of some peer pressure, friend circles, and somebody is there of such nature, so he would be offering and trying to inculcate certain habits. So there is no social police in Vardiwala police, with dress code and all will come and with hand sickle and all to catch and put behind the bars. It is not like that. So it is only moral values, moral philosophies, and the ethical part and understanding about the value system, that what we should do and what we should not do, what is good for us and for the society, what is bad for our society. So identification of all these things are very important. Understanding these facts are very important. If we do understand these things, definitely there will be overall gross good health of the nation, gross good value of the nation, and all greatest well-beingness of the nation, and possibilities in the nation to give a new direction with all future of the nation, that is youth. Because otherwise everyone is the stakeholder of the society, but youth are just an energy for the society, and every nation requires to see the best of the youths. And for this very reason also, I think there is a revisiting on the value system backed by the MHRD and University Grant Commission, and also all in the school level with all CBSE and other boards. And so this is just to imbibe and make you understand every best being of the society, the future of the society, to be with this. Because tomorrow or future, every student may be from engineering background or from management background or pharmacy background. I don't have any idea that how many departments are and the students are here as a participant, but for sure tomorrow you would be having greatest future, and you would be leading some of the other companies. It is very important to know what are the issues related to ethics and that companies has faced, and you would be getting an opportunity to rule someday some companies, head the companies, or and become one of the finest persons in the world. But then you have to understand the ethics. I'm just quoting few examples, like recent was the news you have seen, like Maggie was banned. Maggie is a product of Nestle. So this was the second time, I think it was like 3-4 years back, there was ban on Maggie, and the condition was like they were having in the masala, the spices that they are providing just inside the packet, they are having some lead content which is just cancerous for our body. So in the name of that, it was banned. There was some product, some cold drink was banned. There was once Nestle faced almost 80 years back, because Nestle is very old company from Netherlands, and it is having, initially it was present in the milk producing company. So once it came up with a slogan in United States of America that Nestle's packaged milk is better than mother's milk. This was the slogan. And for that, some social activists came ahead and they just opposed the product of Nestle and the company Nestle. And the Nestle really was, got a very huge threat from the law of court there in USA, just by giving the wrong, statements. Similar was the case with McDonald's. Yeah, everybody understands this, that it is having a presence in entire world. But it was a case story in the country Sweden, when McDonald's came with an advertisement where it projected, like the company is, it projected there is one hungry, little kid in the house, and he was just not cared even by his parents and anybody there. Nobody was there in the house, and the boy was very hungry. So the McDonald, he just opened up his windows from his house, and he could see there is one big board of McDonald's. The boy becomes very happy. But this was the story behind the advertisement, but it was taken by some social activist in the law of court, that there is a wrong projection about the society and the culture, that the little kids are uncared from their family ends, and this company is only option for meeting the hunger of little kids. So again, that got a big slap from the law of court there in the country. We can see some cases like Satyam Ghotala case. All of you are well aware with that. We have observed recently Vijay Mallya's case, when he fled away from the country because there was a huge debt of 9,000 crores of rupees. And for that, debt, he just fled away to United Kingdom, settled there over. But, nothing could be, anybody who is wrong will have to pay. Now, the present government and international court and international, administration and inter-country, kind of communication, that if two governments are in good communication on any issues like this, so Mallya was compelled to Kingfisher was compelled to just pay his dues with all interest. So it is like that only. And because there was similar case with jet aircraft. The jet aircraft was also having around 10,000 crores rupees of debt. But the company never fled away, and because of that, government also promoted it and tried to, it filed the case in NCLT. Then that is a case, that is a special court where in case of any company gets bankrupt, so they actually filed the case and also asked for the support. But they never fled. But here in the another case was mostly unethical approach, which was the EDC and all the police administration of at international level and investigating committees everywhere, both the countries, they just managed to threat with all possible approaches. So we just see all these things, and these are just the examples that when you become in future, you have to be very much with this fact that there is always a possibility to rise in your life, rise in your career, but only fact that if you possess and keep is good value, good culture, sense of responsibility towards your environment, sense of responsibility towards your parents, sense of responsibility towards your nation, to your society, and towards your company, of course, where you would be working someday and becoming one of the greatest CEOs of the company or greatest practitioners in the company. I must give some great and good examples also, because I have cited all those people who really committed some wrong thing, unethical events they were involved in. So there are examples like examples like Wipro's that CEO Azim Premji. You see the case history of Azim Premji. When his father was ill, he left the job and he left the United States life, returned back to India. So the first value system I would quote that for his to look after his aging father, he returned back. And not only he returned back, he got involved in the father's business. Initially, he was not very much worried about his father's business, but his father's business, he got involved. He took care till his last breath. That was the value system he was imbibed with. He left everything for his father. And now you see, when he is in such a very senior citizen, he has become in such a age, he is still one of the greatest philanthropists on this land. He feels that there is a responsibility towards the society and the nation. I must quote one example of Azim Premji. It was a CSR activity which was mandated in the New Companies Act, which was formulated in the year 2013. When New Companies Act, after 1958 Companies Act, when it was reformed and overhauled completely. So CSR is the terminology, corporate social responsibility, which was mandated with the investment of 2% back to the society. So just what I remember is he just contributed 12,000 crores of rupees in 2014, 13-14 against the CSR activity. And after mandation of this CSR by Government of India as a law, there was 20 lakhs registered company in India then. So when it was calculated, the 2% of the mandatory, investment in the land, so the final calculation came to 10,000 crores of rupees. That was one figure. And Azim Premji contributed single-handedly to 12,000 crores of rupees. So he has proved one of the greatest philanthropy in this land, India. And similar is the case you see of Ratan Tata during the period of COVID. He was the one who contributed 1,500 crores of rupees from his part. So it is just a sense of responsibility towards your land, towards your society. So this is how I just I am closing here. There are so many examples, but if you permit, I can just have another 1 hour talk, but I think I would not be giving pain. Samantha sir, if you permit, I can just close.
Okay. One thing today, Professor Dubi has presented a beautiful lesson, actually, which is very too much related to human ethics. What is the actually definition of universal human ethics? You have explained very nice. Actually, another the values, the universal human values. Values, one thing it changes in regard to time, in regard to systems. But one thing, why it will be called the universal human values, which is for the whole nation, whole human being. That is the main target of you. So at time being, the values are changing. But this whenever it will be universal, when it will be accepted by totality of our universe. That is the main thing that you explained very nice. Another thing that I'm telling that you have highlighted the things, power or the strength. It is one thing. But when it will be a value consideration, when it will add it to some ethics. Alexander the Great, he was at that before 5,000 years, he was a holder of great power. He came to India and inherited India, but he's great in this sense that he accepted the braveness of others also prove. So that is the example of ethics or the value. Another thing you have just quoted, Bengal Chemical, who was started by renowned scientist, also a sage like personality. There is Acharya Praful Chandra Rai. He was a scientist. He was discovered actually he is a fundamental researcher. the main thing is that he was was a research on the mercury nitrate. But after he was a teacher, also good teacher, but he felt that I am doing something. I'm doing some research work, fundamental research work I'm doing, but we should do something for the betterment of the society. How the society can be developed, the human being of the society can get something from our research, from our teaching. That's why after so many years of teaching in Calcutta University, after that he thought that we should build up a factory which is Bengal Chemical, and this ethics is maintain this factory Bengal Chemical. That's why you have to top syrup. You told that. So this origin of this factory, the origin is the Acharya Prabhu Chandra Rai, who was also a teacher in chemistry, and at the same time he was also a sage like behavior. He has done all things for the society. Okay, so that things you have explained very nice. So I think it is too much helpful to our students, at the same to us. We have been enriched from your lecture, beautiful lecture. Thank you too much, sir. Okay, I think Maji sir, will you conclude now?
Yes, sir.
Maji,
Yes, sir. We will conclude. Sakhar is there.
Thank you
Okay.
for
He
the
will close the-
opportunity. I must say that
Yes, sir.
you all, Samantha sir, Maji sir, both of you have provided this opportunity to talk. So just I am very happy, and I think the students might have taken some, something valuable. Thank you very much.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's our pleasure, and it's the pleasure of our students also.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
I think next class will be this.
Sakhar, please.
Yes,
By
sir.
tomorrow only. Dear students,
Okay.
next class is tomorrow.
Tomorrow, and the exam will be on Sunday. Okay, that's enough.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you.
So, with permission, you say.
No, you have done nice. You said okay.